Shabbat Shalom. שלום עליכם מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון ממלך מלאכי המלאכים, קדוש ברוך הוא. שלום עליכם מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון ממלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. בואכם לשלום מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון ממלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ברכוני לשלום מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון ממלך מלאכי המלאכים, קדוש ברוך הוא. ברכוני לשלום מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון ממלך מלאכי המלאכים, קדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון ממלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך. Come on, Kyle. צאתכם לשלום מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון ממלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Shabbat Shalom. Just keep turning, I guess. If I have my back to you now, I won't shortly. I was just upstairs in our fourth floor Rickles Gymnasium. It was a second grade Shabbat service. And our school rabbi, he asked the kids right before L'Chadodi, welcoming the Shabbat bride, he said, what makes this a holy place? Now there was an ark that we put in the gymnasium, but usually those children are just playing there. And they said, the Torah's here. They said there's Sidurim, there's prayer books here. And then no parents answered, by the way. It was a fear of being outed or maybe having the wrong answer, but it was these second graders. And this young girl raised her hand very proud and said, the Nishamot, the souls that are in this room at this moment is what makes it a Makom Kadosh, a holy place. My son said he wasn't listening. But what a beautiful idea from a second grader, to recognize nishamot, souls, as making a place holy. I bring that to your attention because we often take for granted in these spaces that we inhabit and in the communities that we live. Raise your hand if you're at Sinai Temple for the first time. 1, 2. Where are you from? Seattle. San Diego. You were my inspiration. Chicago. I'm just going to tell your story real quick. So, what's your names again? Ivan and Susan were the first people here. And I said, Shabbat Shalom. And I said, what brings you here? And they said for years and years and years they heard of the Ted and Hetty Orden Friday Night Live. But every time they were from Chicago and LA, it just wasn't the second Friday of the month. And so this is the first time that you have felt present here. Seattle, San Diego, Chicago. I see another hand. What's that? England.
Welcome.
I thought Holmby Avenue was pretty far where I'm from. Nishamot, souls. When Jacob, in this week's Torah portion, lies down and takes a nap, if you wish, and wakes up and he realized that he had a dream about angels, one of the most famous verses in the Torah. In fact, it's my favorite one in Hebrew. Achein yesh Adonai v'anochi lo yadati. There was God in this place, but I did not know it. I like to say it a little differently. Achein yesh Adonai v'anochi yadati. I woke up. I did know it. And so we just welcomed the angels, and now we're going to welcome the Shabbat bride. But before we do, turn to somebody next to you. Tell them where you're from and why you're here. Just take a moment. Learn the neshama next to you. It'll only be 30 seconds, and then we'll have to get back to business. Okay, time's up. We're going to welcome the Shabbat bride, and then we're going to bring people back to hear their stories. Remember what the person next to you told you. Page 42. We welcome the Shabbat bride. L'chadodi.
עטרת בעלה גם בסין ובצוהלה עם סגולה בואי כלה אחד אוני
ומעביר יום ומי ולילה, מבדיר בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד, ברוך אתה אדוני, אמרי יהי ברבים. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל.
You know, Aaron, the high priest, they say of him, Ohev Shalom v'Rodev Shalom, that he pursued peace and he loved peace. And if you realize that a rabbi and a cantor are actually sharing a microphone, Ohev Shalom v'Rodev Shalom. Amen. This is a very good example for the world to see. In a minute we'll do the Shema, but before we're going to do, in the language that we know, a song about our hearts. In the Shema we say, Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha v'chol meyodecha. That we should love our God with all our heart, with all our soul, and with all our might. The theme for this week, if you didn't know now, you'll know when you go upstairs for dinner based on the turkey, is Thanksgiving. And the word for thank you in Hebrew is Todah. But it's also related to the word that we say every morning when God restores our soul to us, and that's Modeh Ani. In English, I thank God. But Modeh also means I admit. Not that I submit, but I admit that I wish I had control of my whole life. But at these moments, at some moments in our lives, Modeh Ani, we admit that there's something bigger than us. We all wish we had the answers. And when I think of Modeh Ani, I think of one other thing. Next month we'll celebrate Hanukkah, but really in between now and then we will be lighting candles. And the word in Hebrew for candles is ner, nun resh. And this is not scientific, this is Talmudic. But the rabbis believed, and are there any medical professionals in the room? Online, perhaps, I'm not sure. But the rabbis said there were 248 limbs in the human body. And in fact, it relates to how many words are in the Shema and V'ahavta. And at the end of the Shema, we say 3 words that the cantor will say, Adonai Elohechem Emet, that God is the God of truth. Why do we do that? Because there's 245 words, and they say if we add those 3 words, we get to 248. And when we say the Shema and the V'ahavta, we should do it with our whole body. Every limb. Modeh Ani. It can't just be words from our mouth. But the words in Hebrew for candle, for ner, for the candle that we light on Shabbat and the candle that we light on Chanukah, they say it's an acronym. It stands for Nefesh, soul, and Ruach, spirit. And so when we look at the Shabbat candle, we look at the soul and we look at the spirit. Modeh Ani. I admit. I admit that it's in my heart. As David leads us, stow away in your heart.
Thank you for giving me a place to keep my love. I don't need anything special, none of that stuff. I'm a stowaway in your heart, and that's that's enough. Thank you for giving me a place to keep my love. Thank you for giving me a place to close my eyes. You don't have to promise heaven or paradise. I'm a stowaway in your heart, and that's the price. Thank you for giving me a place to close my eyes. Sing with us. Na 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 na. Thank you for giving me a place to take my blues. Don't have to say amen or hallelujah. I'm a stowaway in your heart, and that will do. Thank you for giving me a place to keep my blues. Let's sing together. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Thank you for giving me a place to keep my love.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקולמך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
Continue quietly on page 65 and 66 and 67, 245 words with all of our lips.
ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור. אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
our voices can carry, but we're also live streams, and you can't hear us if we don't hold the microphone. So in just a moment, we're going to sing Mi Chamocha, who is like you, God? Ba'elim Adonai, God who creates miracles. They just mentioned Hanukkah coming. There are times when we look for miracles, but there are times when miracles are literally in front of our face that look into us, look into our eyes. Imagine being an Israelite in the desert, thinking only that there was a sea in front of you that they could not cross, knowing that behind them there were people literally chasing them into the sea. And yet, we know that Nachshon ben Aminadav, the hero, Moses is also a hero, but Nachshon ben Aminadav was the first person of the Israelites that literally took a step into that water. And when he did that, it was only then that the miracle could take place. We turn to page Mi Chamocha. Exactly. Page 69, Mi Chamocha.
Mi kamocha,
Mi kamocha,
mi kamocha,
mi kamocha,
ba'elim,
ba'elim Adonai.
mi kamocha,
Mi kamocha,
mi kamocha,
mi kamocha,
ba'elim, ba'elim Adonai. Play some clarinet, Zach. Yeah. Who is like you? No one's like you. Ba'elim, ba'elim Adonai. I said, who is like you?
who is like you?
There's nobody like you.
Nobody like you.
Ba'elim, ba'elim Adonai. All right, Chloe. Mi kamocha,
Mi kamocha,
mi kamocha,
mi kamocha,
ba'elim, ba'elim Adonai. Ba'elim, ba'elim Adonai. Ba'elim, ba'elim Adonai. na 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 Ya na 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 Svatoj Tiftal Ya na 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 Ufi Yagid Shalom Aleinu Yavo Shalom Aleinu Yavo Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kulam Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kulam Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam Salam Shalom Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam Salam Shalom Salam Shalom Salam
You may be seated. Coming out of the Amidah, we just sang a prayer for peace. So say Shalom Bimromav. When you look in the Torah portion this week, you see the original Atid speed dating event between Yaakov, Jacob, and Rachel and Leah. And you know that they had to work for Jacob 7 years, the wrong spouse, on purpose or not, we can debate that another time. But it's a beautiful teaching of why did Rachel or eventually get Yaakov, Jacob, and not Leah. And the Rebbe of Chernobyl explains that it was in the demeanor of who they were as a human being that it was obvious who was going to win that battle. The Torah tells us that Leah's eyes were weak. Kaha eineha. What do you mean their eyes were weak? The rabbis explain that Rachel won. Why? Not because her eyes were weak, but because she looked at the world through smile and laughter. Leah, her eyes were weak. She looked and lost love because she was full of tears and complaints. Doesn't mean that all of life is laughter and smiles and there's no tears and complaints, but we read every single morning in our prayer books 365 days a year. Psalm 20. There's really not such great music for that. Maybe we'll commission David to write a song for this, but the words are unbelievable. Hafachta mispadi lamacholi. Pitachta sakivet azreni simcha. God, we ask that you will change our sackcloth into robes of joy. Rachel was able to see that. Leah at that time was not. How will we look at our world today? How will we look at our world tomorrow? How will we look at the wonderful world that we live in?
If you know this song, sing with us. And I'm pretty sure you know this song. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and for you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
I see skies of blue and clouds of white, bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Oh, the colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of the people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yeah, I think to myself, what a wonderful
Rise for the Aleinu, page 98.
Here we go. Hey, there will come a day. There will come a day. Yes, there will. There will come a day. There will come a day. By your mouth, by your mouth, by your mouth, by your mouth. Hey, עלינו לשבח לדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שמנו חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים
חכמים ובונים,
ask if you're in mourning or observing a yortzeit to please remain standing on page 101 for the mourner's Kaddish. Are there any names to mention this evening? Thank you. Thank you. Page 101, the words of the mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'yalma divarach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael. V'agala u'vizman kari v'maru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam ulomei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha barichu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran b'yalma v'yimaru. Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimaru. Amen. Osei shalom b'mromav hu ya'asei shalom. Aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimaru. Amen. May God who brings peace unto the heavens bring peace unto all those who mourn. And let us all say, Amen. Just a quick announcement. Is Brianna here? I think she's right outside. If you have registered for the dinner by our exclusive Pat's Caterer, it's our first sit-down Pat Shabbat dinner in like over 2 years. It'll be on the 5th floor. Again, the dinner is for only those who registered because there's only a certain amount of food. If you did not register, make sure next month you definitely do. Brianna, it's the 5th floor, right? So there'll be people out there showing you where to go. You can either take the elevator to the 5th floor or get a couple of your steps in. It'll be upstairs on the 5th floor for those wearing orange wristbands, right? Right, but for those who registered. Exactly, wonderful. We want to thank our, I don't like to say band, but Shlichei Tzibor, messengers of prayer. David, maybe do a quick go-around of who's who.
Yeah, I feel so lucky to have these amazing musicians with us tonight. We have Chloe on violin and vocals. This is Zach on clarinet and vocals, Eitan on the bass, Kyle on percussion, and of course, you all know Cantor Feldman joining us. Thank you.
David Swirsky from Moshav Band.
I'm David.
And distant cousins, and now the Ted and Hetty Orden
Sinai.
family, Friday Night Live. Exactly. If you're interested in coming tomorrow, services are at 9 a.m. If you don't want to watch the news in the morning, you can also watch us at 9 a.m. on our Sinai Temple YouTube station. Any other Atid events, Brianna, coming up? Any Atid events coming up that we should know? Hanukkah, and also there is an event here. It's for Atid and for everybody on Thursday evening right here. We're doing a film screening of the movie Alsi. Thank you, Sam. It's an awesome story of the 1977 Maccabi Tel Aviv basketball team of Alsi Perry, an African-American player from Newark, New Jersey, who finds racism here in this country in the 70s and goes to Israel and finds a place at home. After playing, he moves back to the United States, finds himself in a little trouble. After getting out of prison, he goes back to Israel, and today he's Elisha ben Avraham living in Tel Aviv, and it's his story. We'll be joined with Danny Menken, the producer, and if you watched The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan documentary, John Weinbach from The Last Dance, he will also be here as well. It's free and open to everybody. If you can just register online so we know how many chairs to set up. We're almost at 200 people already. This coming Thursday, it starts at 6:30. Shabbat Shalom, and we'll conclude with Shabbat Shalom.
Maybe we'll sing something quick for Hanukkah and then go into a Shabbat Shalom. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little joining. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Rabbi Sherman. Thank you, George, on the sound. Enjoy your dinner. We'll see you next time. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you.